I'd like to call this regular session meeting of the Madison Elementary School Board to order. Would you please call the roll?
President Holcomb.
Here.
Vice President Grisham.
Here.
Member Thompson.
Present.
Member Cosby.
Here.
Member Spear.
Here via telephone.
All are present.
Thank you. Dr. Olmley, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That brings us to the adoption of the agenda. Do any members of staff or the board have any changes that they would like to make to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved. Second.
It's moved by Ms. Kazi, second by Ms. Thompson. Please vote. That passes unanimously. That brings us up to the superintendent's report. Dr. Guerin.
President Holcomb, Vice President Gresham, members of the board, cabinet, and guests. I want to begin by thanking the elementary principals and assistant principals for presenting their school integrated action plans to the governing board and cabinet. This summer, the elementary principals, assistant principals, and in a couple of weeks, we will have the middle school principals present. Each site began working on a journey together to evaluate their school data and identify strengths and needs and select 3 areas of focus to ensure student success. The governing board spent 3 hours this morning listening to those reports and providing feedback. This is a process that is unique to Madison and really helps inform decision making. I want to especially thank Ms. Marshall and her department for leading this important effort, especially Mr. Piankowski, who has put countless hours into this robust experience for us that really focuses on individual and school student needs and learning to move education forward. It's a critical process that helps us address our educational challenges as individual sites, and then also so we can support those sites as a system as a whole. So anyway, thank you for that amazing process this morning. I also want to mention one area of focus district-wide is attendance. Our attendance has improved since COVID, but it has not gone back to pre-COVID levels. So I want to really encourage families to have a discussion about getting back to regular attendance. That 18 days or more per year means you've lost out on 10% of learning of the school year. So Madison, make every day count. That's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Thompson, anything to report?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be brief. I also want to thank the principals and all those who participated in this morning's presentations. It's so great to see how engaged our district leadership is, and all the work that they're doing with our teachers to ensure that our students have the best access to the best education possible, and excited to see how those plans are implemented throughout the year. Also wanted to reiterate to any parents listening out there to really ensure that your kids are attending school, not just missing things, but making sure they get there on time and ready to learn. It's so important to get full access to the great benefits that our Madison schools have. We can only do that with the cooperation of parents and families. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Kazi.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to echo Ms. Thompson's statements. Thank you for making those. They're very on point and nothing needs to be added. I wanted just to ask the board, Ms. Humphrey's been so diligent in making any changes to events that are happening through the foundation, and I hope you noted that there was a change in the date for our event, now called A Taste of Art, on November 17th. I hope it's on everybody's calendar at the Madison Center for the Arts from 5 to 7. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Spear.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to express my gratitude to all of the administrators and our staff for today's study session. I don't have much to add to what Ms. Thompson said, except that it's always a pleasure to learn what's going on and to hear directly from our school principals and assistant principals. So thank you to everybody. That's it.
Thank you. Vice President Gresham.
Thank you. Yes, that's also all I have is it was great to hear from all the schools this morning and to get to know all the new principals too. So the selection process is such a whirlwind, so it's nice to finally get to meet and talk with them. And we will also be we did our elementary schools today. We will be doing our middle schools next week, 2 weeks. And also for those listening or watching, those meetings, like all our meetings, are public, and the information's on our website. So if you're curious what they presented, it's there. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, those meetings this morning I thought was hugely productive. I think it's very important for the board to have that kind of contact and report, and the ability to dig down and ask questions. I also think it's very helpful to all the different schools, so that they see what's going on and sharing ideas. That's one thing that's really great about Madison is people really work out to try to help each other, and there's a lot of cross-pollination there that I think is very important. And the level of professionalism of the administrators and the people, everybody involved. And so Ms. Marshall and you and all of everybody put together, thank you. I thought that was an excellent presentation this morning. And with that brings us up to our consent items. Does anyone need to pull anything off of the consent agenda? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adopt the consent agenda as presented.
Motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
Is a motion by Vice President Gresham, seconded by Ms. Thompson. Please vote. That passes unanimously. Ms. Humphreys, do we have any call to the public?
We have no calls to public.
All right, thank you. I don't see anybody standing up and waving in the back here, so we'll go on to the next one. That brings us up to item 5 on our agenda, board policies for second read. Dr. Guerin.
President Holcomb, Vice President Gresham, members of the board, cabinet, and guests. We have a second read for board policies, all related to the Educational Services Department. So I'll turn it over to Assistant Superintendent, Ms. Marshall.
Thank you, President Holcomb, members of the board, members of cabinet. There are no changes to the policies since the first read. As a reminder, this is added verbiage, the same verbiage to all 3 of these policies. It's practice that Madison already has in place and compliance with state statute for making curriculum development meetings or curriculum adoption meetings, including for supplemental materials, open to the public and posted for the public. So that wording has been added to these 3 policies. But again, this is already practiced in Madison, and this is policy catching up with state statute.
Are there any questions or comments related to these matters that have already been discussed? Hearing none, are we able to take a motion to adopt all 3 as one motion? Unless there's some objection, I'd entertain a motion to adopt all 3 board policies as presented.
Move to approve the 3 policies as presented.
Second motion.
Moved by Ms. Thompson, seconded by Ms. Kazi. Please vote. And that passes unanimously. That brings us up to discussion regarding future meetings. Dr. Gary.
Thank you, President Holcomb, members of the board, cabinet, and guests. This will be our last meeting without our You Make a Difference, Shining Star, school showcases. I, for one, can't wait to get back to those. It's been a little quiet without them. So our next board meeting is September 19th. We will start the study session for our middle schools and our K-8 schools at 2:15 in the governing board room. We will have a nice break in there for you before we start back at 5:45 with a school showcase from Madison Park. Then we will start the board meeting promptly at 6 p.m. with You Make a Difference in Shining Star from Madison Park and Camel View. You see we have some consent agenda items already. We'll have a delegate assembly update. We will have the lease agreement for Madison Highland Prep, and Cabinet is meeting to add. We have a laundry list of presentations and agenda items that we've discussed that you will be next week's. You will see those filled up on the future calendar. So we're talking about that next week in Cabinet. We also, all of a sudden, it's going to be October. And we will have a regular board meeting on October, and you will start to see, we have another policy we've been working on that's had some complications regarding some language update for medicine, administrating medicines to students, and a financial report, and you will see more after next week.
Any questions, comments, or about upcoming meetings? All right. With that, we had an executive session scheduled potentially if needed. My understanding is there's no need for an executive session. So with that, although the person in the back is telling me to stretch it out or that brings us up to adjournment. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. Vote quickly. Yeah, I think we are setting a record here. That passes unanimously. We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.